Okay, we're back again. Elasticity of demand is a percent change in the quantity demanded over the percent change in price, but you want to use the midpoint formula. So let's look again at what that midpoint formula looks like. We're looking to calculate the elasticity of demand midpoint between two prices which have associated quantity demanded. So we're going to write this out, and we'll say that it's going to be the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded over, and this is where we're going to get the midpoint. Remember, for a regular percent change, we would just say that divide it by the old quantity demanded. But here, we're going to take that midpoint, between two prices and two quantities. So we're going to get an average on this part of the equation here, and we're going to say take the new quantity demanded plus the old quantity demanded and divide that by 2. That's on the denominator here. So that's going to say that instead of saying price is going from a high price to a low price or a low price to a high price, we're going to be calculating the midpoint between two prices on the demand curve, and that's going to give us the average of these two quantities, and we're going to use for our denominator down here the midpoint of the prices. So here we'll have the new price minus the old price divided by the new price plus the old price, all divided by 2. Okay, so if we have actual numbers here, so we could say this is $5 and this is $2, and we could say at $5 they're buying 3, and at $2 they're buying 8. Okay, and then we could plug that in. So we've got to decide what's the new and what's the old. So let's have that be P1, and this will be Q1. This can be P2, and this can be Q2. Okay, so we're going from P1 down to P2. So this will be the old number. This will be the new number. Okay, so let's go down in price, and we can say new number minus the old number for quantity demanded. So if P1 is the old price, this is the old quantity demanded, this is the new one. So the new quantity demanded is 8. The old quantity demanded was 3. The new plus the old equals 8 plus 3 divided by 2. And this again is just our numerator here for our elasticity equation. This is the whole equation right here. So we've solved this part right here. 8 minus 3 is 5. 8 plus 3 is 11. And when you divide that by 2, it's 5.5. Okay, and then we look at the prices here, and we do the same thing for the bottom. We say the new price is the P2, so that's 2 minus the old price, which was 5, which gives us a negative 3. And then we say the new price, which is 2, plus the old price, which is 5, is 2 plus 5 is 7 divided by 2 equals 3.5. Okay, so now you have, this is your numerator, this is your denominator, and when we look at that and we plug that into a handy dandy calculator, what we should have, let's see, 5 divided by 5.5 equals 0.90. And we have 3 divided by 3.5 equals 0.85. Notice we have a negative here. When you're calculating price elasticity of demand, you will always have a negative either on the top or the bottom. And that's because the law of demand says you've got to lower the price to get people to buy more. It's that inverse relationship between price and quantity. So there's always going to be a negative, but when we calculate elasticity of demand, we ignore the negative. We just drop it when we're looking at price elasticity of demand. But you may have noticed in your textbook when we study cross elasticity of demand, we're looking at substitutes and complements, and the negative sign will matter. When we're looking at elasticity of supply, the relationship between price and quantity is positive, so there won't be a negative. Okay, now we can take these two numbers right here and we can say 0.9 divided by 0.85 equals 1.05. Okay, so the elasticity of demand between the price range of 5 and 2 for this particular product in that price range is 1.05. And what does that tell me? That tells me that it's, pretty inelastic. It's not changing too much for that much of a price change. So what this number says is for every 1% change in price, the quantity demanded is going to change by 1.05%. So it's going up or going down, but not by a lot. Okay? We'll come back with some more practice soon.